At the beginning of 2025, I posted an episode all about the hot trends this year and things that folks in the beverage industry should keep an eye out for. Now, it's really important to stay up on trends. And when you think about how different markets around the globe react to beverage trends or wine tastes, it's really key for wine industry professionals to know what's new and what's happening right now. One of the best ways to stay on top of that is by attending a wine expo. And today on the show, I have an awesome guest who's going to be telling us a little bit more about a specific expo that's coming to the US in just a few weeks. Hi, friends. My name is Sarah, and I'm a certified sommelier and host of the Wine CEO podcast. And each week on this channel, I dive into fun wine topics that help make wine more approachable for the average consumer. This week, I sat down with Savan Farrow, who is the marketing and communications head of Vinexposium, which is an amazing organization that hosts wine expos all around the globe to be able to help wine tradespeople learn more about what's happening in the industry right now, be aware of specific trends, and meet with other brands. It's really important for small wineries and distributors to have an opportunity to network and be able to experience other brands and have folks get to know them, as well as large brands that want to continue to help get their name out there. And so Vinexpo is coming to Miami in just a few weeks, and I'm so excited to be partnering with Vinexposium and attending the Miami event. It's going to be an awesome 2-day event at the Miami Beach Convention Center, and I'm looking forward to going and meeting tons of wine distributors, winemakers, and so many more trade professionals that will be there to network and talk about the North and South American markets, as well as wines around the globe and what we're seeing in trends in the industry today. So let's go ahead and dive into my conversation today with Savan. We talked a lot about what folks can expect from the event and why this expo is so important for the events that they host around the globe and how it's helping tradespeople and really making an impact in the wine industry. So let's go ahead and dive into my chat with Savan. Well, Wine CEO podcast listeners, I am so excited because I am actually attending a really exciting event in just a few weeks in Miami, Florida. I'm going to Vinexposium, Miami, and this is for North and South America. And it's a really exciting event. It's mostly focused on trade individuals, and it's all about wine education. There's going to be a lot of incredible brands there. And so I wanted to sit down with one of the leaders from Vinexpo and be able to talk a little bit more about the event. And so today on the show, I have Savan Farrow, and I'm very excited to have Savan with me on the Wine CEO podcast. He's the marketing leader for Vinexposium, and he's going to tell me a little bit more about this awesome event and the brand today. So Savan, welcome to the Wine CEO podcast.
Thank you for the invitation, Sarah. I'm very pleased to be here with you.
Thank you. I think what would be helpful, Savan, maybe if you can first talk to our listeners a little bit about what Vinexposium is, really like what's the organization, what's the purpose behind the events that they're doing, just so that folks know a little bit more about what I do, about what this awesome event is going to be like.
Of course. So Vinexposium is a French company, and it's more than 40 years old. So we are organizing events in the wine and spirits industry. It all began in Bordeaux in 81, so a long time ago. And that time, we had only one event in Bordeaux. So this is a B2B event. So we organize events matching buyers and producers from all over the world. So, of course, now, 40 years after, we are organizing worldwide events. We will, of course, discuss it in a few minutes more. But what is important is that the global industry, wine and spirits, has always, noticed it was very important to have one dedicated show meeting producers and buyers all over the world. So this is a French company. We are based in Paris and Bordeaux. And also we have representatives in Asia because the Asian market is also very important for us. After Bordeaux, we launched Hong Kong, and it's also a very successful event. And in the meantime, we had also new events launched all over the world. So in the US, it began in New York, a few years ago. We have also events in India and also in Asia, Hong Kong and Singapore. So a lot of events. What is very also important to mention is that we are participating with our group, Vinexposium, and Vinexposium is a large event organizer worldwide, also with dedicated team. And we are working also with them for the US market. So they are based in the US and it helps us a lot to organize also events.
I love it. So basically, trade show events, right, for the wine industry. And I think folks often assume that in wine, everyone has a lot of marketing dollars and everyone can sell their wine so easily. But that's not the case, right? There's so many wineries and even small brands and distributors located around the globe. And they may not have a large marketing budget to be able to just have everyone learn about their wine. And so, one of the great ways for restaurants and sommeliers and tradespeople to find out about new brands is going to trade shows like this, right? Seeing brands and having an opportunity to taste a lot of wines in one place, and be able to maybe be educated on a region of the world that they're not familiar with because there's a representative there, right? So it sounds like for the trade individuals attending Vinexposium, there's a lot of education kind of aspects and things that come into play there. So talk to us a little bit about the experience, right? So someone goes to Vinexpo, let's say there's a trade person listening now and they're thinking maybe they want to attend. What could they expect that experience for them to be like?
Yes, exactly. What you mentioned is very important. It means that the purpose of the event is to bring importers to our event to meet producers from all over the world to discover new regions, new tastes, new behaviors also, because you have noticed that the industry is also changing a lot with the no-law consumptions, with the new RTD also way of consuming. So this is also important to have all these innovations on our place. But yes, the purpose is really discovering, meeting right people. Connection is key in that area. So we like sharing. It's all about connecting. It's all about emotions. So physical event, face to face, of course, is the key point.
And obviously, it's really helpful for these brands. You mentioned that the company has been hosting events like this for 40 years, right? And I know starting in France with a lot of the major wine events, and I'm sure over the period of a few decades, you've seen brands really be impacted by the exposure they can get at this event, right?
That's true. It's very important, of course, for a lot of brands. But if I can mention also maybe a few names, we all know today EWSR with the datas, and they began with our events decades ago. So now they are part of industry, but at the beginning they were very small. They were looking for people to connect. We have also, of course, a lot of brands, but I don't want to mention one in particular because, of course, there are a lot of examples. But the idea is really to meet right people, to develop markets, contacts, to understand also what is different, and then develop on a long-term perspective.
And you mentioned all of the various cities that you're hosting or countries that you're hosting some of these events in. Do you feel that it's a lot of the same brands that travel to the various events, or does it become a little more regionalized based on where that event is being held?
Both. If we mention Paris, Wine Paris, which is our key event in February, we have almost all the industries there, and we notice that they are also traveling to key areas as US, Asia, India, because now, of course, everything is connected, and you're right to have the right people and be connected with the right people locally. And also, what is very important is to mention that the industry is also changing every day, and you need to be also really focus on your regions, and really it's really important. And what you mentioned also before, it's that we have a lot of countries pavilions. So it means that they are participating, all of them, to different events that we are organizing. So we are traveling with them all over the world, and also connections are key. We can mention a few, but we are having a really um, good contributions with the California Wine Institute, for example, with the Wine of Portugal, Spain, Austria, so a lot of them. But it's key. It's really key because they are making the difference, participating to our events, and also then explaining why to the wineries this is key to be there and to understand the markets, and not only being in their own region and really willing to export.
I completely agree. I loved seeing that there were events coming up in Singapore and India because while you may not think of those regions first when you think of wine from a production perspective, the consumer base is huge, right? And it's important for the brands to understand what those local consumers are looking for, what local trends there may be within Southeast Asia, et cetera, right? And so I think it's exciting to have such a global presence, right? To have these represented across the globe. That's amazing. I think the Miami one, which I'm so excited, is in my backyard. I think that one is the first week of May, right? So May 7th and 8th. I'm excited to be there. And for that one, it's North and South America kind of focus, but obviously with brands from all around the globe. And if I remember correctly, I think there's going to be over 4,000 brands that will be there, right?
So we are expecting around 3,000 people altogether, and roughly 300 exhibitors coming from roughly 30 countries, mainly Europe, but not only. We're also having South Africa, New Zealand, Georgia, Moldavia, what you explained just before, with the new ways of regions discovering new tasting. This is very, very important. And yes, this is quite new for us because in the past we were having this event in New York. And the purpose of our event in the US is really to establish these regions and to establish really key contacts in the US, then to develop in the US. So it's very important that they meet importers, distributors, restaurants, HoReCa people. And Miami was really for us the perfect match because it's a strategic hub. We have access, of course, to the North, South, and Central America. It opens the doors also to key markets in the spirits, also from Latin America. It's strategic hub in terms of infrastructure, in terms of port, in terms of airplanes. So that's very, very easy to be connected with Miami. And it's also a huge market. It means that I heard about more than 100 million visitors each year. Florida, so Miami, it's also not only Miami, it's also Florida. You have a lot of purchase power, luxury premium restaurants are really well connected, and also regarding the cruise. So it's important for the cruise. So it was really important also with the three-tier system to change from New York because, as I mentioned before, the purpose of our event is really to attract producers to develop into the US. But if you come once or twice, then you are normally you have the right people. So after several years in New York, we think, okay, it's a good time to change and also to go to Florida. And we were discussing with Mr. Touton, which is a French known ambassador in the US, having a great story, and now with a really amazing success. And he was explaining that Florida is also very important for him because it's a hub, and he has a huge warehouse also in Florida. And it means also that in terms of logistics, it's really key.
Great. Well, I love that you chose Miami. One, you missed the fact that the weather is perfect this time in Florida too. But I completely agree for all the reasons you mentioned. I mean, Florida is such an incredible tourist hub for the United States. And part of that is the international presence that Walt Disney World brings. But then while folks are here, they visit Miami, and it's such a growing region and a growing city. We saw incredible growth over the last 4 years just in Florida. And I think there's even more potential for continued growth of restaurants and beverage presence. So I completely agree, I think, and logistically perfect for the United States. So I'm really excited to attend and can't wait for the event. I think it's going to be great to network with a lot of folks that'll be there. And obviously, as you mentioned, it's business to business focused. So this is really for trade individuals that are looking to maybe learn more about some wine brands. Maybe they're building a wine list for their restaurant or hotel, or it's a distributor that's looking to grow and build their portfolio a bit more. But I know that one of the aspects of the expo is the academy, the Vinexpo Academy, right? So there's some sessions that individuals can attend outside of just walking the floor and tasting some of the products that'll be available. Can you tell us a little bit about what the Academy is and what the purpose is for those sessions?
Yes, it's a good point to mention indeed. So we have conferences and master classes during our events, not in Miami, but also in all our events. For us, Vinexpo Academy is like also a brand. We are really delighted to be part of the industry and having contribution from our partners all over the world to bring insights during our events. So it's not only meeting people, meeting the right people, testing, but also learning, discovering, having key data be available during the event, and also understanding the trends. So if I can mention a few examples that will happen during Miami. So we will have a partnership with ASI, and I can give also you the title, but we are quite proud of this partnership. It will be a heritage grapes, identity, history, tradition of the American continent with Joris Gutierrez Garcia, so the best sommelier of the Americas in 25. So that's a good example that we can also bring to our event. We have also having a contribution from our star wine list, and they will expose during the event the star wine list of the year Florida to 2025. As I mentioned, it's very important to be connected with the restaurants, with our clients, and that's why a star wine list is really key for us. We have, of course, a partnership with drinks business. We will do a focus on agave because, of course, it's one of the main focus also in that area and also in the spirits. I mentioned before IWSR, so we will have also a market insight from them. What's the future for wine, especially in the US, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil? And today we are having challenges within this industry. And what will be really about, it will be much more focused on niche, on understanding the market and see, okay, what's possible to do. We also have new partnerships because we are moving from New York to Miami. It gives us also opportunities, new opportunities, and that's also what is very good in that. So we are having a partnership with the University of Florida, also with data insights. So it will be quite interesting to know about the Chaplin School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. We have also data coming from the Wine Market Council. So it's also very important to understand, okay, data and trends in terms of trade, but also in terms of consumption. So we will have both. And wine services, it's also a very important partnership for us. It will be also linked to the HoReCa business. So behind the scenes of Michelin-starred restaurants menu, which wines shine under the Michelin restaurants. Um, it's quite linked with our also new initiative. I don't know if you heard about our Voice of the Industry magazine. It's a new initiative coming from us. So it means that we are the voice of the industry, wine and spirits industry. So we give the voice to our key partners, to contributors, and they are giving us insights, key insights that we can share to our community all year long. And this is very important for us because that's the voice of our industry. So
I
it helps also having synergies between all of our markets, and it can also give possibility to have insight on site linked to articles which are really detailed and it's the link between both.
I love that. I did an episode just a few, I guess it was almost 2 months ago now, about kind of the trends we're seeing in the wine industry
Uh-huh.
and especially what we're seeing Gen Z a little more focused on. And I think it's something that we have to be so mindful of in the beverage industry, right? There are constant trends and constant changes.
Mm.
And if we don't stay on top of them and you don't innovate and you don't learn what the trends are and make yourself aware, you can quickly become irrelevant, right? And I think, especially in this day and age with social media and with all of the globalization we have, trends change quickly, right? And so I think it's great that you all have this focus on how do we continue to educate the industry, continue to help folks become aware of what trends are by region, by demographic. And then I love that you're complementing that with a written publication also. That's great. And I was excited to hear you mention a couple exciting things there. You mentioned Mexico and Brazil and some regions that are really growing and that haven't had as much focus in the past, but are becoming some hotspots in the Americas for growing wine regions, right? Which was awesome.
Exactly, and that's also what we have also with our key buyers. So they are also coming from Mexico, Argentina, Colombia, also Caribbean islands. And we have also really great people coming from the cruise destinations like Royal Caribbean Group, Carnival Cruise Line, Norwegian Cruise Line Holding. So really interesting to have that also in mind. But it's not only a word; it's also really people behind and also big companies that bring a lot of business.
Definitely huge names in the hospitality and tourism industry. Savan, I have to ask because I love to ask all my guests, how did you get into wine? What's your background? What made you want to, I know you're marketing focused, but what made you want to do marketing for the wine and beverage industry?
I'm coming from Champagne, so
Ah,
Champagne
like you're
region.
okay, so you
So
were born
I
in
have
Champaign.
a I have a few cousins that are producing champagne, but that's true that I focus on the marketing and communication also in the event industry in my former company, much more dedicated to maybe real estate or entertainment. And after COVID, it was also very difficult time because in the events industry, it was like dead. And we had to rethink about our life. And I decided to also restudy and go to the University of Rhine in south of France and to learn about this industry and to also work in the castles. So I worked in the Loire Valley in France. And I was really amazed by this industry about sharing emotions, curiosity. So it's never ending. And after I could use both events and wines and spirits with Vinexposium. So that's the perfect match.
I love that. And great that you have that kind of background that's always a part of you from the Champagne region. That's amazing. I think the great thing about wine is there's a story behind every wine, right? There's a story behind every producer, every region, and every grape. And so it's a fun industry to be in, right? Being able to tell stories about an amazing product that folks love. So, Sivan, this has been such a great conversation. I've loved learning, even for me, a little more about the events. I'm already such a big Vinexpo fan. And so really excited, obviously, to attend the Vinexpo in just a few weeks. And I'll include all of the info for the event in the show notes. I have a discount code for trades individuals that want to attend. So really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fabulous event. And I'm excited to hear about how the one in Singapore goes also in a couple weeks, because I think that'll be your next big event too. So Miami, then Singapore, continuing to grow a lot of knowledge around the wine world about upcoming brands and exciting things that are happening. So Sivan, thank you so much for joining me on the Wine CEO podcast today.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed today's conversation with Sivan and learned a little bit more about Vinexposium, this awesome organization that's hosting these great trade show events around the globe. The Vinexpo in Miami is in just a few weeks. It's May 7th and 8th at the Miami Convention Center. I'm going to be there. If you work in the industry, if you are a part of food and beverage, if you work in hospitality, if you're a part of the trade and you want to attend, I would love to have you come join me at the event. I'd love to meet you. Again, it's May 7th and 8th in Miami. And I do have a special code for individuals that are in the trade and want to attend the event. You can actually come for free. And that code is VAmerica25. Again, that's V for Victory, America 25. You can plug that code into the website and get a free ticket. Be sure to shoot me an email, sarah@thewineceo.com. That's SARAH @thewineceo.com to let me know you're coming. And that way you can go ahead and redeem one of those free tickets that I have for folks in the trade to be able to come and enjoy this awesome educational and networking event in just a couple weeks. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to like and share it with a friend. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. And you can always head over to my socials @thewineceo to subscribe and follow along for more exciting wine content. Until next week, friends, I hope you drink something new and delicious, and I will catch you all in the next episode of the Wine CEO podcast.